Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm reviewing a Figma figure, and what you're looking at is the Figma 225 series, the Ninja Slayer. I purchased this figure off AmiAmi.com and it cost around $54, including the $10 shipping. The turnaround time was about 2 weeks, and the product is packaged within a corrugated recycle box, with crumples all around the side to make sure it is not damaged during transit. Now for today I'm going to do something new, and I'm going to try to break up the review into different parts. First off, I will be talking about the accessories that's included, and I will also talk about the box itself. So for those of you guys who actually want to see unboxing, this will be the part where you click. And then we'll talk about the articulations and the miscellaneous detail of the figure itself. And finally, I will conclude by sharing some of my likes and dislikes for the figure. So without further ado, let's Hi guys, welcome back. So this is part 1 of a 3-part review for Ninja Slayer Figma figure. So what we're looking at right now is the box itself. So let's get started. So this is the Figma box. It's Figma 225. And you can see it's got the seal of approval sticker, so to show that it's authentic. And on the front, there's really not much to say about it. It's a very standard Figma box. On the side, however, there is some character arts on the side. So this is the figure itself, and on the back here it has some instructions and some pictures on how you can use the accessories it comes with. That's pretty neat. On the bottom there is some warning about kids, so just make sure you don't eat or ingest any parts and you'll be fine. On the side here, once again, another photo of our Ninja Slayer figure. And finally, on the top here, there's a photo of Ninja Slayer again. And that's pretty much it. On the bottom, it's the same photo, just doing this hand pose. And voila, there you have it. That's the pretty quick rundown of the box art. So I'm going to open up the content and show you guys what's in there. Stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back. So I've taken the content out of the box, and what you see here is the Ninja Slayer stuff. So to my left is the package where the figure was originally packed in. So when I took the stuff out, there's a bunch of little accessory that comes with the figure, so I'm going to go through them really quick for you. So to start, there is actually a sub level of the box, so there's 2 separate boxes for the accessories. So to my left here is a scarf that could be used alternatively for the scarf to replace the scarf he has. Also, there's a shuriken effect, the part you can use over here, and there's a grappling hook that you can see and utilize, which I'll show you guys in a bit. And this is the actual Figma content. So you can see there's 3 different replaceable head, plus a nunchuck stick, plus 2 pieces of sushi, and a ninja star that's over here. And also there's a flame attachment that can be attached to the figure's arm. As well, there is a severed ninja head, which I'm not too sure what is that? I don't know what that is, but that's pretty much it. To my right here is the Figma bag, because this is a Figma release, obviously. And also there is a little bit of, I believe this is a stand component to put up the laminated signs for the effect parts. And there's actually extra wrist joints for you to use. And a couple of extra part hand that you can use. So this one seems to be a pointing hand of some sort. And otherwise, moving on, there is a Figma stand assembly that you could put it together. It's typical of Figma figures. As well, there is assortment of hand you can use. There is 4 different pairs of hand. But if you look closely, they're actually slightly different. There is 2 chop hands. These 2 are believed to grab the nunchuck stick. These 2 are the open pawn hand. And there's this one here. This one seems to be one that's used to throw the ninja stars. So that's pretty neat. I'm going to take these out and have a closer look later, but I'm just going to show you guys what this is quickly. And last but not least is the effect signs here. So this is what it comes with originally. I believe there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different laminated effect signs for you to use. And yeah, it's pretty neat. So that's pretty much it. A quick rundown of all the parts and accessory included in the original box. So for the next part of the review, I'm going to open those up and just show you guys what they are again. Thanks. Hi guys, welcome back. So here I have laid out all the accessory that comes included with the Ninja Slayer Figma figure. And actually there's quite a bit of variety, so it's pretty cool. To start with, there's a bunch of signs. Not too sure if you can see them. I'm just going to elevate my camera a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the sign it comes with. There's there's 5 of them right now, but there's actually one of them that's attached to the stand, which I'll show you guys in a bit. Beside them is a flame piece, which attaches to the arm guard of Ninja Slayer and attaches over here. And the flame piece is actually transparent, and it's pretty cool. It's like amber dark red color, so it's nice. And you can see that Ninja Slayer actually has a scarf on his back, and it comes packed with an alternate piece of that scarf, and this one's a little bit more tethered, and also it's a little bit more bent to show that dynamic action pose, I suppose, if you want to add it to your figure. Aside from the scarf, you have a pretty weird assortment of accessories in the sense that there's a nunchuck stick here, which is, by the way, it's fully functional. Also, there's 2 pieces of sushi. Kind of weird. I guess this is... Oops, sushi escaped. So there is the salmon sushimi. And then there is the tamago, I suppose, sushi. So over here. And then there is ninja stars. So this one actually has 3 of them attached. And there's also the ninja star by itself, which is pretty neat too. On top of those stuff, there is a grappling hook here. Grappling hook actually has, I think, metal wiring inside, so you can actually bend this metal part to however shape you like. So I think that's pretty neat. And this one actually attaches to the back of Ninja Slayer's pouch. So you can see there's a hole here in the back of Ninja Slayer, and this is pretty much where you attach the, I guess, the wire to it, and that's supposed to go through all the way to the other side. So it's pretty neat. On top of that, there is 4 or 3 additional head you could use. So I'm just gonna zoom in on those so you guys get a better look at what they are. Let's see if it helps. So I'm not too familiar with Ninja Slayer, but apparently he transformed into a monster of some sort, and he kills ninja. And that's about all I know about the story. But the figure the head itself is actually pretty well sculpted, if you guys can't see. I apologize because my camera is a piece of garbage, which I will update at some point. Let's see, there you go. So that's the different head. It refused to focus, so I can't really do much about it at this point. All I can tell you that is there's a pretty nice looking blue severed ninja head that you should promptly hold with the hand attachment it comes with. So that's very nice. Speaking of hand, there's a wide assortment of hand that you could use. So start from the left here. There's open palm hand, and beside that there is the hand that's used for nunchuck, and beside that is the karate chop hand. There's a pair of that. And then there's a close fisted hand that you use as a default. And then this hand here in particular is actually used for throwing ninja stars. So I'm going to flip it over. It actually allows you to hold the ninja star, so that's pretty neat. And once again, it won't zoom in properly, so I can't help with that. As well, this hand in particular is used to grasp the sushis, so leave that here. That's kind of neat. And as well, there is one additional hand which is molded for the sole purpose of grabbing the severed ninja head. So it's kind of like a dark humor here, but again, this level of accessory is much appreciated for Figma figures. So one thing I found pretty cool about this Figma release actually is the addition of the Figma base. So this is your regular Figma base, right? And there's this attachment that allows the Figma base to hold the, I guess, what do you call those, quotes or laminated signs that says stuff, you know, which adds to the posability of Ninja Slayer. So how it holds the sign is that the attachment actually is double pronged. So if you look over here, you can see there's double two joint here, and if you just take this off, then this is pretty much just the arm you're working with that holds up the sign. The sign is divided into 3 different portions, and each of them has a little joint that goes up and down only. So there's one over here, one over here, and one over here. And beside those is the peg, which is used to clips on different signs. So for example, if I have this crazy washo sign, I can just attach that over here, providing that it actually attaches properly, and then attach my base to it like so, and voila, I can attach my Ninja Slayer figure with the washo sign beside it, so it will look like this once I have it attached. So I think that adds a lot more playability to the figure, as well as if you're a collector and you want to put it in a shelf. I think it's pretty cool because then you can show the effect parts as if we're from a comic book or something. So it's pretty cool. So anyways, on the next portion of the review, I'm going to talk about the figure articulation and also some of the details about the figure itself. So stay right tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Ninja Slayer Figma review. So in this review, I'm going to be talking about the articulation of the figure and the quality of the paint job, as well as some of the details on the clothing and the costume and how accurate it is to the character itself. However, before I start, I just want to mention that I've forgotten one of the accessories in my part 1 review, and that accessory is the hand, which, as you can see, is the closed pawn hand. And this is actually all molded in one piece, so this allows the Ninja Slayer to attach both his arm to this 2 peg hole here, and with this attachment you can do the praying monk pose for ninja, and I think that's pretty cool. I like this hand assessment. So anyways, that's that. So let's look at the figure itself. So the figure is around 15 centimeters high. It's a pretty typical Figma height. I'll show you some comparison with other Figma figures in a later portion of the review. But to start, let's look at some of the paint on this figure. So the Figma figure, or this Ninja Slayer figure, is pretty much all matte red. So you can see it's not really reflective anywhere. And you can see that it's actually got a lot of detail on the clothing, the costume itself. I think the costume sculpting is superb on this figure. It's actually one of the best ninja figures I've seen thus far. So there's that. So definitely check out the details on the arms. Okay, and you can see that, on his pants, the crease is amazing. I love it. If you look to the side there, it's all continuous, and there's pretty much no paint blemish because I think they're all solid piece colors. So it's very nice. So that's a bonus. That's a plus, I guess. Figma, well, actually, that's not true. Figma usually have pretty good QA in terms of colorings, so that should be expected, I suppose. Well, let's talk about articulation then. So in terms of articulation, let's talk about the scarf in the back because it's pretty easy to see. It's got a nice scarf. It's got a Figma joint here that allows it to go up and down. So it goes down, goes up, and you can see that it's actually pivoting along a joint here. So that's pretty much all it can do for the scarf. For the head, it goes down. Sorry, I'll move it closer so you guys can see. For the head, it goes down, it goes up, it goes left, it goes right. I mean, it does do tilt too, because it's actually on a Figma joint, which I'll show you guys. So this is how you take the face off. Just a little nudge. Very easy to come off actually for mine. Not too sure if that's an issue or not. It should be okay. The scarf can be taken off. It just pop it right off, and there it is. So you can see this is the Figma joint here. And if you want to put it back, just do like that. Pop it back in, and you can pop the face right back in, and voila, there you go, back to normal. In terms of the arm, there is a little bit of articulation here, which I really like. This piece here is actually not individually attached. It's actually part of the arm. It's just a glued on. I think it's just a glued on piece or something, which, you know, I don't mind because I don't really need extra articulation here. That works pretty well. And obviously it's a Figma joint here, so you can see that here it is underneath in the armpit section here. I don't know if you guys can see properly, but it allows you to go up this much. This is the highest it goes, and you go down like that. However, you do see that because it's a double joint Figma, the joint actually sags a bit. So compared to this joint, it's not even anymore. So if you want to do your pose for your photo shoot, you have to make sure to move the joints into the right orientation. So again, when you move, then you have to be careful with it because they're Figma joints and they're pretty fragile. So moving on to the arm here, arm can bend up to here. So you can see that bicep can only bend up to here. There's no double joint, I believe, so that's the only bend you'll get. And for the wrist here, it pivots, so it does that 360, and it goes in and out, side to side like that, but it can go up and down. So there is certain lateral movement that's, you know, affected because it's a Figma joint they're using. And in terms of the chest here, though, if you want your ninja to bend, it actually bends in two different parts. So the upper chest bends like so, just this much, and it actually rotates side to side. Actually, if you want, you can actually probably bend everything, turn everything around 180 if you like, but it just looks pretty weird. So it bends a little bit, and on the bottom here, along the torso, it actually bends again. So this is the maximum bend you can get with this figure. So around here. Not to say it's not too bad. I mean, I think it's okay for action poses, anyways. So for the leg, you can only kick up this high, which is about this much, because of the way they designed the underwear thing for the ninja. However, you could kick sideways pretty high up, like so. So that's as far as it goes. And you can actually rotate this if you like. So you kick that way too. And that's pretty much it about articulation. Again, typical Figma joint in here. Move these back. You can actually reverse this too if you like. So it actually bends. You can pretty much do this too. It just looks really awkward and weird. Looks painful actually. Ouch. Yeah. So along the knee there, you can actually bend like so. So it actually bends all the way up here, and that's the max bend you can give. You could also move the ankle up and down like so. So if I were to move the ankle, this is down, and this is up. So the ankle movement's a little bit restricted because of the leg guard here, so you can only go all the way up here, and that's it. For the toe here, there is a slight articulation on the toe that lets it bend up a little bit, but because of the design of the shoes, it's pretty much stuck like here at this level. And that is pretty much all the articulation you're going to get with this guy. You can't really move the ankle side to side, I believe. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's pretty much pivot only because it's a Figma joint, which means that you can only go up and down. You can't go side to side. So if you want your guy to move your ankle side to side, maybe try a different figure or try SH figure art perhaps. That's pretty much it. One thing I do have to warn you guys though is if you do bend your joint, you have to watch out because they're pretty fragile. Also, it look kind of hideous if you bend it like that because it does expose the joint. And I think that's part of the reason why they give extra joints, because this might get worn out pretty easily, I think. Yeah, this part especially, it just looks really fragile to me. And that's pretty much it for articulation. I'm going to show you guys how to put on the flame, I suppose. So the flame actually hooks onto the arm guard. So on the instruction manual, it tells you to hook the top part to it first. So that means this portion here, this one has a little hook on the front and also another hook on the side here. So this allow it to clip onto the arm guard. It's pretty hard to do, and I barely get it done properly sometimes. It just seems very situational to me, and I would just wish Figma would came up with a better solution for this, because I know it stays on pretty firmly once you attach it. However, it is quite a bit of a pain to attach sometimes, and there you go. So here you go, and that's what the guy looks like with his flame arm, his demon flame, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And that looks pretty cool. And that's pretty much it about the articulation of the figure. Typical Figma figure. So let me just show you the size comparison compared to all the other Figmas, and just bear with me for a moment while I set those up. Okay. Ouch. So this is Ninja Slayer, standing around 15.5 centimeters tall. This is Miku Hatsune. So this is one of the older release for Figma. It's pretty short in comparison because of the character design. If you compare it to Tekken Evo, which is another Figma figure, it's roughly still a little taller than that. And if you were to compare to the SP Figma lines, which includes the Code Geass Lelouch, and you see that it's pretty much the same height. So I would say that this Ninja Slayer figure is actually more close to the height of the SP line than the regular Figma releases. Not to say that's a bad thing or a good thing, just saying that's an observation I see. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to the last part of the Ninja Slayer Figma review, in which I will be talking about the verdicts I have for this figure in terms of some of the positive thing I think for this release and some of the negative things that I hope Figma can improve on for future releases. So to start with, really dig the sculpt on this guy. It's pretty much an accurate representation of the character, and the detail on the clothing is amazing. The creases from the pants to the way the scarf is sculpted is amazing. The face with the detail on the eyes is really nice too. As well, the paint job on Figma characters in general are superb, and this one is no exception. This one, although it's all matte red finish, has no paint splatter or there's no blemish whatsoever, so that's awesome. Another thing I found great about this release is the amount of accessory that came with. This is the first time I've seen so much accessories that comes with Figmas, so I was pleasantly surprised. I really like the way they did the talk bubble in this release. I think it will just add to the value of this figure if one chooses to display it. Some of the negative thing I found about this figure is the way Figma joints used, especially on the ankle joints. The ankle joints are very limited because it can only go not top and down, but it can only go vertically, which means it can only point up and down, but it can't pivot side to side, which kind of limit the posability a little bit, I feel. But I guess that's to be expected for Figma because they're pretty much stuck using their Figma joints. Another thing I have regarding Figma joint is the fact that they're hideous to look at if you were to expose them. So for example, if you were to bend the knee all the way, it would look hideous because it exposed the joints. As well, if you were to bend the arms and you don't try to hide the joint with the gauntlet, it looks pretty weird because the joint is very thin in comparison to the rest of the arm, so it looks a little bit out of place. And other than that, I think I'm just nitpicking, but the flame for me was a little bit hard to put on because it takes a couple tries to put on each time. And finally, I felt that the sign joint for the talk bubbles are a little bit fragile and that they might worn out pretty fast. But given the abundance of accessories, I think this release is actually a pretty good release for anyone who's looking to get a ninja figure, or for anyone who is anyone who's a fan of Figma. So if coming from that kind of point of view, I would recommend this figure definitely. And that's pretty much it for my three-part review. Let me know how I did, and whether there's some point for improvement. And I probably need some suggestion on better cameras because I just can't stand using my webcam anymore. So yeah, give me some feedback on this, and hopefully I'll hear from you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.